Hello my friends, in this video I'm going to talk about my first bouldering experience outdoors, and first and foremost I want to say the guidebook was pretty much useless for me because it didn't really help me find the crag or find really the problems. What I can recommend for you is don't be like me and go with people that have no idea about the crag. Try and find people maybe at your local gym that knows a crag near you and go with them so they can show you the way. Otherwise, at least we were lost for about 2 hours searching for a crag that we can climb. But then finally we found two other guys there. They were looking at us, we were looking at them. Then we finally figured out they were also there for bouldering, so we had our session with them. It was a great time. Also, I thought that the rock would have much more friction. I thought, yeah, going bouldering outside, the holds might be smaller and worse, but at the same time there's more friction, so you can somehow make it work. But for me, the holds were so polished and so slippery, it was even less friction than indoors. So I guess that myth in my head got busted completely. Something I didn't really think about was the holds. Each hold is so different and specific to that place in the rock that you have to really figure out which placement of the hand fits best for that specific hold. Even though I just went for one session, I found out that the handholds were so intricate. The footholds were, I mean, if you found a foothold, you'd be very lucky and you'd be glad that you can kind of use it. Otherwise, you're like, where are the feet? Also, another thought I had before going was I never really knew how it would be to fall outside. I didn't really have an idea of how it would be. It's much more sketchy because when you're in the gym, the mats are absolutely everywhere. You don't even have to think about it, about falling at a place where there are no mats. That thought doesn't really cross your mind. But when you're outside, the mats aren't really that big. We had a couple, but still, from going to the gym to outside, falling in that perspective was a new experience. But the thing I found the most amusing about this whole experience wasn't really the climbing itself. It was more of the journey to get to the crag, to meet up with your friends, to try and figure out the different climbs and the boulders. At least in our crag, there were like boulders a bit spread out everywhere, and it was a bit of a labyrinth to find them. But it was worth it. That part of it is also in the experience, and it's very fun as well. Especially since I hadn't really gone hiking much in my life. I liked it a lot. So I've been climbing for a year and a half now, almost, exclusively indoors. I always wanted to go outside, at least to try it out, to feel how different it was. And to be honest, it felt very similar to board climbing, but at the same time very different. Because especially, obviously, in the gym, there are many colored holds, and when you go outside there are no colored holds, so it's much more difficult to know where you have to go and find out the beta, and you really have to visualize the climbs. For example, there was this climb that the hand holds were pretty good for me, but the feet holds you couldn't see them from above. So you had to really visualize it before you went on the climb, so you knew where to put your feet once you're up there. If you're thinking about going outside, do it. Try it out. You'll like it. Even if you don't, at least you went once, you can say that. At least you tried it, and especially if you have a bouldering crag near where you live, it's definitely worth at least giving it one shot. A lot of people also rent out their mats for like a day or two, or however long you want to rent it out. So you don't even have to buy a crash pad for you to try it out. You can just rent it out for a day, see how it is, And then if you like it, then you can go and buy one yourself. Let me know what your experiences are when you went bouldering outside, and if you're thinking about going bouldering outside, let me know your experiences. I'm very keen on knowing what other people felt like going for the first time, to see if it matches my experiences, or maybe they had no bad experience, maybe they had a really bad experience. I'm curious to know, so let me know in the comments below.